like 14,000 a month. Okay, I encourage you to amplify your goals that you're already working on. It's going. It's 2022. That's crazy. When the clock struck midnight, honey, I am not the same girl. I was somebody else yesterday. Honestly, I feel like that's what people be thinking though. So y'all gotta excuse me a little bit because I had coronavirus. Yes, Omicron got me, honey. Try to take me out. So I'm still out of breath a little bit. Like right now, I'm out of breath. Let me take a break. See, at this point, I'm like maybe 17 days out of, like I've done my quarantine and stuff. I've tested negative, but like I'm like 17 days since originally testing positive. And I still have some side effects like the breathing and like shortness of breath. Like when I get excited or when I'm getting ready or like doing my makeup, I'm like, oh, it's getting out of shape, honey. And I am very much slim, very trim. I don't like that. COVID is a hater. But any of y'all friends that asked y'all to hang out, say no. Especially if they went out for New Year's last night, honey, you can't sit with me. I am not one of them and I'm not playing. Call it very much funny acting, that's fine. But honey, I cannot see you until you test negative 5 times. So I was supposed to go to Ghana for New Year's, but I actually decided to cancel because I had coronavirus and then I was afraid that I wasn't gonna test negative in time. So I just went ahead and canceled because I could still get my money back at the time. If I would have waited to the last minute to see if I could test negative, I wouldn't have got my money back. So I just went ahead and canceled. And also like, even if I was to test negative in time, I felt really weird being in big crowds. Like I was seeing people who was already in Ghana and like I was seeing their stories and stuff. And people was like on top of each other. I could see the sweat rolling down people's neck. They all spit screaming and spit singing and screaming singing at the club. And just particles just flying. And I was like, ooh, I hate that for y'all. And I was like, God forbid I get over there, I get it again and then I be stuck. Ooh! I said the devil is a lie. So I didn't go. So I just like hung out with my nephew and we watched Cocomelon and we ate s'mores and it was great. I want to talk about in this video like what's the plan for 2022 and like New Year's resolutions and all that stuff. But like we don't do those anymore. Like what is even a New Year's resolution? But I just want to talk about like my plans for 2022. Okay, so I went to North Carolina A&T State University, honey. I graduated in 2011 with a bachelor's in electronic media, digital media. Then I moved to New York. I had my very first job at Black Enterprise Magazine, and I went to NYU and I got my master's in marketing analytics. That's my background. I've worked for some pretty cool brands. I've been a brand manager at Roc Nation. So I managed Jay-Z's lifestyle brands. So that includes Duce, Made in America, Ace of Spades Champagne, 4040 Nightclub. Honey, should I keep going? Then I ended up getting a job at Unilever as a brand manager. And Unilever is a competitor of Procter & Gamble, if you're familiar with Procter & Gamble, but it's in the consumer packaged goods industry. Unilever owns Vaseline, Popsicle, Dove, Nexus, a lot of different brands. But I quit. And I love that for me. I quit, honey. I just could not take it no more. Y'all, I didn't even tell you guys, I was under investigation there because they told me that some of the brands I was working with on Instagram, I was getting brand partnerships as a content creator on Instagram. They told me that my Instagram was anonymously reported and some of the brands that I was working with was direct competitors of theirs. So I was under investigation for that. So they ended up coming back and saying like, oh, never mind. You actually aren't like breaching contract of any sort, but like, please be mindful. But after that, after I had to go through that investigation and all this questioning and interrogation, I felt like I didn't want to work there anymore. So when I was there, I did a lot of different things. I worked on commercials from production start to finish, trafficking to different platforms. I worked in the social media space with influencers. I've worked with like e-com, Amazon, Target, all that stuff, y'all. So I'm so well versed in all of these things because that's what I've done for years that I didn't really realize that other people don't know these things, if that makes sense. So you know how like there's people who are like engineers, like architects, like that's their skill set. I never really counted what I did in my 9 to 5 as like a skill set. I guess because it merges with my passion outside of my 9 to 5 when it comes to like content creation and being an influencer and working with brands and stuff. It's all in the same space. So it's like I use that knowledge in my 9 to 5 and I use that knowledge in my personal life too. And like what I learned in my personal life by working with different brands and content creation and like Instagram versus YouTube versus TikTok, being on all those platforms, I use that knowledge and back with my 9 to 5 for the brands that I'm working on and vice versa. So the information and what I'm doing in my day-to-day all kind of meshes. So I never really counted that as a skill set. But I had like friends coming to me like asking me for help or like, you know, what I think about certain things. You know, I'm helping them of course because they're my friends, but then they're like, oh my God, you're so good at this. Like I be taking these classes and you're saying the same thing that they're saying in these classes. And I'm like, am I? So I gotta give myself more credit. So in 2022, I'm gonna take a dive into like the influencer space and I'm gonna bring on some clients and I'm gonna be an influencer manager. And I think that I would be really good at that because I already know how to navigate certain conversations, from deliverables to briefs to negotiating the rates. I already know how to do that because I did it every day for years in my 9 to 5. When I worked for Unilever, for example, we would sign contracts for like 60, 70K per post to an influencer. Yeah. So as an influencer manager, imagine if I'm able to negotiate a deal that huge. I'm already making more than I was making in my 9 to 5, and I was making pretty good money in my 9 to 5, but it's just like, you telling me I can do this and I don't have to be on nobody's clock? Y'all getting on my nerves. So I am gonna do that in 2022. That's what's coming for 2022. But I also want to talk about why I quit my job, because like Unilever is one of those companies that's like when you get in after that, you can pretty much go anywhere. Like when they see Unilever on your resume, it's just like, yo, we want her. Whether it's like, I could go to like a store, a retailer, I can go to like Target, Amazon, something like that. I could probably go to like another product. I could probably go to like Procter & Gamble, which is a competitor. Like everything in the world is essentially a product. So once they see that, they want you. So people will be like, why you quit? I hated it. And it's for multiple reasons. For one, when I first started the job, I feel like I was swindled because I was like at a mass interview day and I didn't even get to pick the brand that I was working on. It's almost like they just interview you for like a general brand manager role and then they put you with any brand. Like you didn't have a say with the brand. So I was like, gag, I don't like that. So I feel like I was swindled from jump. And then also, I feel like at my level, that those are the people who do all the work. And I don't like that either. And then I also feel like it's like a bottleneck. For my role, in order to move up, it's very hard. So there's a lot of people in the brand manager role, but there aren't many roles above that brand manager role. So it's like people like fighting each other to try to get the few roles that are available above our role. And I'm like, I'm never gonna do that. So that's another reason why I quit. So I want to also share with you guys like what I plan to do for 2022. I don't really believe in New Year's resolutions, because I feel like it's people who drastically try to do something different at the start of the year. At January 1st, they just drastically try to change something like, oh, I am gonna be a fitness guru today. I'm like, okay, what? Like, I feel like you have to slowly do things, like maybe up the goals of a project that you're already working on, or maybe like increase the speed of something that you're already working on. I feel like that works better for the New Year's. So at the start of the year, I am going to, well now, it's January 1st, I'm going to start kind of putting a little bit more steam behind stuff that I'm already working on. So for example, I'm pulling back from Instagram because I feel like it's a dying platform, and all the energy that I put into creating content for Instagram, it never goes anywhere because the algorithm is stupid and people say they never see your stuff. So boom, I'm focusing more on TikTok, y'all. I've been taking off on TikTok. I posted this video about how I was farting so much, so gassy, so bloated during COVID, and it took off. Like I was documenting my COVID symptoms and like signs of COVID, how I got COVID, what it feels like. I was documenting on TikTok, and one of my videos is at 500,000 views. The other one is at 400,000 views. So it took off, and I'm at 5,000 followers now on TikTok, but kind of on accident. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna keep going with it. I actually posted a brand video. It was a partnership from Instagram, but I posted it on TikTok just to see how it would do. It got 12,000 views. So I'm like, let me go focus on TikTok, scrap Instagram. So I also see that people from TikTok, they're more supportive. Like if they like you, they'll go off of TikTok and follow you on Instagram and subscribe to your YouTube channel. So I'm like, you know what? Call me a TikTok guru. Another thing that I'm gonna be doing on Instagram is more so teaching people how to build their personal brand, because last year I taught classes teaching people how to build their personal brand and to grow their following and to monetize, how to communicate with brands, how to negotiate, and they were pretty popular. So I am going to go back to doing that on Instagram as well, and I'm going to go live with other creators and some friends of mine that have their own brands and talk to them about their plans for 2022 and how they learned how to manage their brand. So that's another goal for 2022. So if I could just sum up what that goal is, it's really to put more effort into my online presence and to make money off of it and to monetize it, so I can have just like passive income from social media, because it's like I'm already on there. I kind of have somewhat of a following, so let me make the best of it and try to grow it, because I got pretty lax in 2021, honestly. Like I had moved from New York to Atlanta, from Atlanta to Charlotte, like, and as a creative, I realized I have to be stationary a little bit in order for my creative juices to be flowing and for my mind to be right. Like 2021, I was just existing, honestly. So that's what I plan to do in 2022. Honestly, y'all, the frame of this video could be jacked up because I keep having to start over, and I'm also doing this on my phone. You know, I'm a beginner here. I'm a beginner YouTube kind of girl, so I don't have all the fancy setup and the lighting and the camera and stuff. And honestly, I thought about buying a camera. I actually had a camera and I sold it because I don't know how to use it. Like, I'm not techie at all. Like, I just wish I could have somebody to set it up and I just talk. But you know, maybe in the future, maybe 2022. So another one of my goals is to be more consistent on YouTube. My channel actually has been growing. I'm only at, I think, like 437 subscribers, but y'all, I remember when I was at like 200. So I do see like putting out videos is like helping me a lot. And I think people are going from TikTok to YouTube, but like, if you have been watching my videos, let me know like what kind of content that you want to see from me, and I'll start posting that. So it skews the camera if it's like the angle keeps switching. But another thing I wanted to say and advice I wanted to give on the new year. Like I said, like I believe that you should add an adjustment to goals that you are already, I'm all looking off. I feel like you should add an adjustment to goals that you're already working on. So for example, I wanted to buy property. I bought my first property in 2021 with my grandpa. I'm so excited about it. We're gonna put an Airbnb on it, right? So this year, 2022, I say I wanna buy 2 more properties. I'm not being drastic like, yo, I'm gonna buy 8 multi-unit properties, which is possible. I'm not even gonna try to shade anybody, but like, I have to be realistic for myself. I'm already pretty active, but I wanna be more active, and I want to get a better body and I want to work on my core. I just want to be like more fit. So I'm going to add 2 different fitness classes. I want to try solid core, and I also want to make sure I go to yoga at least once a week along with my strength training. So like, these are stuff that these are things I was actively working on that were already my goals, that I'm just doing something to amplify it. So 2022, think amplification on your existing goals. That's a word. Dropping gems, amplifying your current goals, amplifying things that you're already working on. Honey, put extra steam behind your goals that you already reached in 2021. That's what I would say. Yeah. So actually talking this out to you guys on YouTube is actually helping me think about my plans for 2022. But yeah, so those are my plans for 2022. Get my body even better. Buy more properties and focus on monetizing my digital presence. So I would say that's what's next for me in 2022. I know I post on Instagram, like, I quit my job. People are thinking, like, what is next? Like, what is she about to do? Like, so that's what I'm about to do. I was working 2 6-figure jobs, raking in that money, y'all, raking in that money. And it was nice. I'm not going to hold you. And I probably will pick up a second job again in 2022 because the checks was just looking too nice. I'm talking like $14,000 a month. So I might do a video on job hacking. If y'all want to see a video on job hacking, like how I pulled it off, working 2 jobs, not missing meetings or whatever, I will do a video on job hacking. But these are my plans for 2022. I encourage you to amplify your goals that you're already working on and be realistic with yourself, and also make timelines. Like, by April, I want to have done this. By July, I want to have done this. Take things in pieces and chunks, especially with the world that we live in these days. Everything is so unpredictable. It's like, it's just like, it's always something new every day. It's very hard to make goals and plans long term because of just how things are now. So I encourage you to do your planning for the year, financially, mentally, physically, all those goals that you have for the year. I encourage you to do it in bite-sized pieces. So you're starting in January, think April. From April, think July. From July, think September. And just break your goals down. And keep a running list of how you're doing. Check them off. And create like different milestones. By this time, I want to be here. By this time, I want to be here. And at the end of the year, you realize you reach your goals. So that would be my recommendation for 2022. Those are my goals for 2022. So I hope you guys stay around. I will keep you guys updated and subscribe to my channel. Help me reach my goals. Ciao.